This is the Crowd Crux Crowdfunding Podcast with Sal Brigman, where we cover everything you need to know to launch a successful crowdfunding campaign. We speak with proven entrepreneurs who've raised money from the crowd and want to teach you how to do the same. Stay tuned because we're about to reveal how to launch your dream project. With your host, Sal Brigman.
Before we get started with this podcast episode, I want to take a second to introduce you to my friends at Fulfillrite. If you need help shipping out your Kickstarter or Indiegogo perks or rewards, Fulfillrite is the absolute best company for you. I've been working with them for a while and I can vouch for their services. They make it dead simple and take all of the headache out of shipping out all of those boxes, all of those orders to your backers and your customers. If you want to check them out, go to fulfillrite.com at fulfillrite.com. What up, what up? Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. If it's your first time tuning in, my name is Sal, and on this show, we talk about how to raise money with crowdfunding on websites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So on this show, we get into what's working right now on Kickstarter so you can implement some of these strategies into your own crowdfunding campaign. In today's episode of the podcast, I brought on an entrepreneur who has had 2 successful Kickstarter campaigns. His very first campaign, he is the marketing head of these different projects, and the first campaign raised over $200,000 on Kickstarter off of a $20,000 goal. It was also featured on a bunch of media publications. He shared everything he learned about getting backers for that campaign. And in addition, the second campaign that he's run, which is currently ongoing, has raised over $390,000 on Kickstarter. And this is off of a $25,000 goal. Wow. Just take that to settle in for a second. This is more than 7,500 backers that have supported his recent Kickstarter project. So he knows what he's doing. And the cool thing is that on this episode, he gets into the science of Kickstarter, the science of how do you rank better on the platform, the science of how do you actually get backers who want to support your project from the get-go. You know, they hit their goal in the first 16 hours of their campaign when it was live. So he talks about exactly how to do that. And in addition, some of the other strategies that you can use to get traffic to your project and to get your project noticed in the eyes of the media. And these different podcast episodes that I put out, they're meant to be educational. They're meant to share with you some things that you can do to really make sure that you hit the ground running, that you start off strong when you launch a new crowdfunding campaign. But at the same time, you kind of have to paste together all of these different episodes. You have to paste together the blog posts I've written and the YouTube videos that I have out there. It isn't all in one place, really, and it just takes a lot of time to put together a complete proven launch strategy for a crowdfunding campaign. And that was sort of at the forefront of my mind when I put together this free course for you. So this course is going to go through some of the basics of how to launch a successful crowdfunding campaign. How do you get media attention? How do you get people to take notice of what you're doing online? And most importantly, how do you get them to take action? How do you get them to actually whip out their wallet and support your crowdfunding campaign? We talk about that in my free course and also go into more, I think, larger things like how do you even stand how do you stand above all of the other campaigns that are currently launching right now on Kickstarter and actually gain the attention of super backers, people who regularly back campaigns. So if you want access to that, you can go to crowdcrux.com/PR. That is crowdcrux.com/PR. Just enter your email address and I will start sending you some of the free training videos to get you up to date on the best crowdfunding practices out there. Without further ado, let's get into today's podcast episode. Daniel, welcome to the podcast. Looking forward to talking with you about your project and Also, this new product that you have has raised over nearly $400,000 on Kickstarter. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Salvador. Thank you. We're overwhelmed by the amount of pledges and support we're getting. We're happy that it's going well.
It's insane. This is your second project too, right?
Yeah, true. It's our second project. Our first project was actually an everyday backpack, which is sort of a big thing to start with, relative to a wallet that we're launching now. And we had some good feedback on that, and it was a pretty successful project. But this one actually surpassed our expectations as well.
So it went from backpacks to wallets. Do you think you could tell the listeners a little bit about the wallet and sort of how it's different from all the other wallets out there?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So firstly, I'll start with the beginning of Koala-Gear. The whole reason we came into existence is because we wanted to find a way to actually combine fashion design and functionality. And we wanted to do it in a way that would be seamless, that would be simple, clean, and elegant. We found that the backpacks out there, when we started thinking about a backpack, didn't actually have the functionality that we wanted and looked for, together with a really good, sleek, elegant look. So that's what we started out with, and we came up with Joey, and we tried refining that and taking it a step further with this wallet. So the idea was to create a wallet that was small, minimalist, but still had room for everything you need. And it had to be, we had certain things that we had to have and we didn't want to give up on. First thing is that it had to be sturdy. It couldn't be flimsy. It needed to stand up to the test of time. And it had to be super cool functionality-wise. So it actually took much longer than we thought it would take to develop this. We gave ourselves a timeline of about 4 months. We ended up developing this for about 10 months before we launched the campaign, because we really wanted to get everything down right. Mm-hmm. So we came up with basically what we have now, which is a clam opening, and once you open it, you have a clip for your cards and bills, or notes, photos, or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, anything up to card size can go in there, and it's modular. So you can put one card, or up to 10 cards, or 20 bills, and it doesn't matter how much you have in there. It sort of fits itself.
Very cool.
Size-wise to your cards. And we have this really cool fan out action. A clip that holds all the cards and they fan out like a deck of cards, and we actually changed that. This is something new. It's a spoiler that I'm giving now. I can't say exactly what we changed it to, but it's based on our backers' requests all along the way. We just spent a month and a half in the factory putting final touches on the new clip, and we're going to be having a live stream on the 20th. On Sunday the 20th, and we'll show it and explain it exactly how it works.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah. Also, people can check it out too at the DJIN, DJIN, the wallet perfected on Kickstarter. You guys have 17 days to go. So this first campaign, you raised $233,000 on Kickstarter. Look like you guys have a really strong progression with the second campaign. What's been your role here at the team for the DJIN wallet and this other product? What's been your role at the company?
So basically, my role is I'm the marketing director here. We're a small team, and we work close together. So basically, what I'm in charge of is producing the video and making sure that everything clicks smoothly up until the campaign, and generating leads, and actually doing all the online marketing and digital advertising once we launch, which is very important.
So you're the one who actually gets backers for the project in terms of getting the word out about these campaigns.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's an exciting job. It's also, imagine, a little bit terrifying, because I know that a lot of people, when they enter Kickstarter, when they enter crowdfunding, it's kind of like an entirely new marketing paradigm, an entire new vertical. They sort of have to figure out how do you actually seduce someone into supporting a project, not just buying a product. So I want to get into some of the things that you've learned since launching these different projects. But I also want to learn here, so for you, your background, have you been in paid marketing before, or did you learn this all yourself? How did you come to sort of learn how to actually get the word out about these?
I actually haven't been in paid marketing before, at least not in a big capacity, but you don't have to. This is important. It's important to understand. There's a ton of information out there on Kickstarter, and I hope that in our short conversation I'll be able to sort of boil that down to a few important points. But there is a set way in general to how Kickstarter works, and if you follow a very strict plan and a good regimen, you can find a way to get a lot of backers and to get good backers. I do have to put one caveat in there. It's you can't do it without a great product. But if you do have a great product, then there are a few really good things you can do.
So if you do have a great product, you've been working not just 3 or 4 months, but 10 months on making a really great product. You have that all in order. What is then for you sort of the secret sauce that makes all of this work? What is it that people need to be aware of if they do want to rank well in Kickstarter and they want to get backers? What have you learned?
Okay, so I think I'll put this in a few parts. We'll talk about the Kickstarter algorithm, because Kickstarter does have an algorithm which rates the projects and actually pushes them up or down in popularity. And we'll speak about the actual preparation and legwork that you have to do before the campaign. So I think I'll actually start with the legwork. Preparation is everything. Getting your ducks in a row, getting in touch with all the relevant platforms that can support or endorse or feature your project ahead of time is definitely key to success. When I say preparation, I also mean generating leads. You should have, if you're a one-time creator or a second-time creator or even a seventh-time creator, you should have a landing page where you can, and if I'm getting too technical here, please stop me and I'll explain more.
Okay.
Where you integrate Facebook Pixel, where you integrate your Google Analytics, and you have a way to actually track how you generate leads. So you have a landing page. It's basically a web page where you have a box to collect emails, and you should start this at least a month before your Kickstarter campaign, and you direct people onto that page via Facebook advertisements. I mean, still the biggest tool for advertising Kickstarter projects is Facebook. So what you would do is direct people from Facebook advertisements onto your landing page and get them to leave their email. And you should do this by generating good quality content, good pictures that don't give too much away but tease enough to have people leave their emails. Mm-hmm. You should also give them something. You should explain why they need to leave their emails. People are naturally suspicious of leaving an email just anywhere. So one thing you can do is tell them not to worry. Tell them that their email will be secure. Another thing you can do is tell them that if they leave their email now, they'll have a first chance to get whatever it is you're launching for really special early bird prices. That's actually what we did with DJIN. When we launched, we had just 500 leather wallets and 500 microfiber wallets for a really cool price, and they went within the first day.
Okay, I see. Just to break that down, in terms of the landing page, did you use any kind of software to create that? Is this just on your regular website? I know you can use things like lead pages to set up one of these, or did you just customize it and make it yourself?
No, we actually use the platform. It's a really easy platform. It's really good to use. It's called Strikingly.
Okay.
I've had experience with several platforms, and Strikingly is a pretty good platform. I mean, you can. It's pretty basic. You just put up your graphics, and you have a place to collect emails, and it's great.
Okay, and the second question here being, when you are doing those Facebook ads, I know that obviously you can put a pixel on that landing page and retarget people. How were you initially targeting these individuals to let them know about this opportunity to opt in? Was this your existing email list? Was this cold traffic on Facebook? How are you targeting these people?
Right. So in our case, we had some audiences ready. We have audiences that are on our website where we sell Joey, and we have a Facebook audience, and of course we have our close friends and family. That's something I'll get to in a minute. But those are ready-made audiences that were actually around on our website and have bought our products and had some kind of interaction with Koala-Gear already. I'm sure some leads came from there, but it's important for me to say that the Kickstarter community is very big. Kickstarter is one of the highest traffic websites in the US. So if you go into Facebook and you target your audience by Kickstarter lovers or Kickstarter fans, you have a good chance of generating some leads. They won't be the best leads. The best leads would be leads that come from platforms you already have, from people who already had interactions with you. But you can get some pretty good leads by targeting Kickstarter fans on Facebook. You just have to make sure that your audience isn't too wide, and because once you have a wide audience, you tend to lose leads actually.
Okay, you did this for both your projects, I imagine. With the second one, you have a $25,000 goal. Looks like you hit that within the first 2 days. So I assume that's what that was responsible for.
Yeah, we actually hit that within 16 hours. And,
sorry, excuse me.
And yeah, it's fine. And here comes one of the most important points, definitely for Kickstarter campaigns, and that's organic traffic and how you prepare organic traffic in advance. And in this area, your family and friends, I can't stress this enough, are your closest assets. Family and friends are responsible if you know how to. I wouldn't say use them well because they are family and friends, but if you know how to activate your family and friends in a good way on the day of the launch and in the first moments of the launch, you'll have a huge spike in sales. And this is because basically for every organic sale that you get on Kickstarter, you get another one. They tend to accumulate. It can be viral. It can be something that goes viral. So what you should do is get all your close family and your close friends. Don't spam anyone, but people who really have your interest at heart and like what you do and are proud of you, line them up just before and tell them, listen guys, I'm launching. I'd like you to do several actions. I actually wrote a document and gave it to my family and friends. I told them, listen, you can like and share and comment the first post that we have on our Facebook that link to the Kickstarter campaign, and of course pledge, right? And that's something that nobody loses. It's a win-win situation because even if a friend or a family member pledged for whatever it is you're launching and he doesn't necessarily want it, after a couple of days they can cancel their pledge. But that initial pledge makes a huge difference. Every pledge at the first few hours makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I can imagine. It also makes a difference because when other people come and see that amount of money has been already pledged to the campaign, they're more likely to as well, or at least to also watch the video, to spend that attention to watch the video there. How long would you say then it took you to learn Facebook ads? Like, was this something that you've been learning for a while? Just kind of curious, how long do you think it took to learn the basics of Facebook ads? I had to interrupt this podcast episode because I want to introduce you to my friends at The Gadget Flow. Their product discovery platform reaches 22 million people per month. They've helped more than 5,000 crowdfunding campaigns thus far, and they have a social media following of more than 700,000 followers. If you want to gain access to their marketplace and list your own product, you can go to thegadgetflow.com/submit and list your project today.
Okay, so this is learning Facebook ads is an ongoing endeavor. It's something that I'm sure will keep on going for a long time. But the basics can be understood quite quickly. I mean, it should take. I would give it between 3 and 4 weeks, and do it in advance before you start preparing your Kickstarter campaign, and just sit and actually read as much as possible. One really good resource for that is the Adespresso blog.
Oh yeah, I love those guys. Yeah,
they're great. They're really great. You can choose whether you want to use their platform or not. If you're new to Kickstarter, if you're new to Facebook ads, it might pay off to pay a monthly fee to Adespresso and use their platform, because it's just easier on the eyes and it's easier to understand.
Facebook is confusing. Their account creator, all that kind of stuff.
That can be a bit confusing.
Yeah, so we talked about, so you've been, in terms of reaching out to your family and friends, in terms of creating a landing page, collecting leads, using Facebook ads. The other thing you mentioned was sort of prepping publications or prepping people that might endorse or sponsor what it is you're doing. I was kind of curious, what did you mean exactly by that?
Okay, so that's part of the organic preparation. And again, I would start that about a month or a month and a half before. I sent out a ton of emails to all kinds of publications. All the big publications, you should know this in advance, won't really take your project if you can't send them a sample. They wouldn't write anything about you, and they would get interested once you start making once your project starts gaining a lot of track. But you can turn to medium-sized blogs or to platforms that have potential to go viral. One great tip I can give here is for Product Hunt. Product Hunt, I'm sure you know, it's a website where people just hunt products.
Yeah.
And if they have something that looks good, so people can upvote it and so on and so forth. But one thing that many people don't know about Product Hunt is that the top 500 hunters on Product Hunt have the ability to hunt a product and have it go straight to Product Hunt's main page. So what I did was I Googled top 500 product hunters and came up with a web page where you can just see the top 500 and shoot out some emails. So I got in touch with 3 or 4, and I sent them an email and asked them if they'd like to hunt our product. And we actually got a couple of answers back, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, today or tomorrow, the number 1 hunter on Product Hunt is going to hunt DJIN, which
Awesome.
will probably give us a great boost in organic pledges. That's something that's obviously quite late in the campaign. We have just 17 days left, but if I wouldn't have started speaking with product hunters a month before, then it wouldn't have happened. So definitely the important thing here is legwork, just to get out there on the internet, go into blogs, definitely into all your blogs, Salvador, they're great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, sure. Kickstarter blogs, crowdfunding blogs. There are lots of articles about the Kickstarter algorithm and about Facebook ads and everything, and you should take the time to sift through that information and understand it before you launch a campaign. It's sad to say that it isn't enough to have an awesome product. You also have to put in the legwork.
Very well said. That's a lot of great information, and I want to get into also the things that you've learned about the actual Kickstarter platform. But before we do that, I did want to learn a little bit about, in terms of how you yourself have grown as a marketer. You went into this gig, this job, this position, I'm sure, with a certain conception of how Kickstarter was. You had a certain set of skills. What for you, looking back, has been like the pivotal, the cool aha moments where like you've been jumping up and down or been excited? Like, what have you really liked about this process?
Thanks for asking. It's that's a great question. Well, for me, the past 2.5, 3 years have been a roller coaster ride. Some of it has been great, some of it has been terrible. Because at the beginning, I really didn't understand where I was succeeding and where I was going wrong. That's one of the most frustrating things for any marketer, I'm sure. To have such a wealth of information that you can take off Google Analytics and Facebook and so on and so forth, but you can't really analyze it properly. So you might see that you have a day where you made 3 times the amount of pledges that you had a day before, but you don't know to say why, right? So those are actually bittersweet moments. But for me, it's been a lot of frustrating work. I mean, it's frustrating sitting down and reading blogs and trying to understand the Facebook conversion pixel and event codes on analytics and all these technical details that might not be everyone's natural place to be. I can say about myself, it's not my natural place. My natural place is sort of a copywriter. I like being creative. I like playing with materials and graphics and words and text and so on and so forth. But it's an integral part and it's inseparable from the job itself. And at some point, I think maybe a year down the line, I started enjoying it. But again, it took time. But I started enjoying it when I could actually analyze the information that came in and start understanding what works and how it works. And that's something really really enjoyable.
It all makes sense, right? It's like you get to that point, it's like, oh my gosh, now I understand why this is happening. I think too, the fact that you have a copywriting background, it actually enables you to create even more effective ads. So you sort of have a secret weapon there where if you know about imagery, if you know about colors and color contrast, like all that kind of stuff, you can put that into your Facebook ads, you can put that into your advertising and actually be way more effective than someone who just knows the analytics side.
Yeah, that's true, and thank you for bringing it up. There's one thing that can help you get through, even if you don't have perfect color contrast and perfect graphics. If you try putting yourself in the mind of the consumer, in the mind of someone who's landing on your Kickstarter page, or even way before, someone who's on Facebook and sees your ad, it can help you out. And just two things that are very instrumental to this are social proof and a sense of urgency. Those are 2 things that are very important. Social proof basically means when you can say, it's been 2 weeks and we already have an X amount of backers. That's something that gets people to open their eyes, right? Or a week in and we have 1,500 backers. Those are things that are social proof. If you're a second-time creator, you can say this is our second project and it's going just as well or even better. That's social proof.
Yeah.
And the second thing is a sense of urgency. Sense of urgency is basically, okay, the early bird is running out, or as I said in the leads, right? If you leave your email, you'll have a chance to be the first to know and get your early bird price. Those are 2 things. There are other things in the psychology of a consumer that make people want to buy something. But
those are 2 very strong ones, especially social proof. I totally agree with that. And also all these different things sort of feed into each other, like talking about family and friend marketing, talking about the media and PR. Those all develop social proof because you have more and more people. So it kind of all works hand in hand, I see. In terms of the actual Kickstarter platform, I did want to ask you, so what have you learned there in terms of trending better in the algorithm or getting more noticed in your category? Have you discovered anything you could share with the listeners on that point?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Here we get it. There are some areas of Kickstarter that are a bit dark and some that are clearer. For instance, Magic or projects we love those are two areas where you're sort of dependent on the guys at Kickstarter, how much they like you, or how much they like your project. Sorry. But as far as trending in your own category, there are a few things. This is what I've learned. I just want to say in advance, it's what I've learned, and it's my own conclusions. I wouldn't tell anyone to take this as factual information, because Kickstarter doesn't actually give information about its algorithm. But from what I've seen, number of pledges is the number one factor in popularity. Number of pledges daily is the first factor in popularity. If you have a lot of pledges, you'll rise in popularity. The second factor, which is just as important, is the amount of traffic your Kickstarter page receives. And this is especially important because there are some things you can do that will drive more traffic to your campaign, but won't necessarily generate sales. But that is still something you'd like to do. Say you have a Facebook ad running and you see that it's driving lots of traffic, but you're not getting many sales. It might be a good idea to have that campaign run a little longer if your link clicks aren't too expensive, because if you have a lot of traffic, you rise in popularity and you get more organic sales from the people on Kickstarter.
That's interesting. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah. So that's about traffic. Another thing that we used in this campaign and really has really helped us a lot is Kickbooster. We started with Kickbooster in the beginning. Kickbooster is an affiliate program where people can share your campaign link and get 10% on every purchase made from their link. So basically, it's free to sign up to that. So we signed up for that at the beginning, and I tried being in close contact with someone from Kickbooster during the campaign. So I basically just had some emails running back and forth between me and support someone from Kickbooster. And as time went along, this is something that creators should know as well. If your campaign starts getting some traction and starts seeing some good traffic, Kickbooster will be interested in marketing it themselves, or getting in touch with some big marketing clients, some big affiliate clients to market it themselves. That's how we got featured in Mashable, because Mashable actually turned to us via Kickbooster. I mean, I was in touch with someone from Kickbooster, and I kept asking. It's also something you shouldn't be afraid to ask. I kept asking if maybe they want to get us in touch with someone with one of their big affiliates to endorse us, because it's a win-win situation. So they got in touch with Mashable. Mashable said, yeah, sure. I mean, it looks like a pretty good campaign, and the day Mashable put up their article, we had a crazy amount of traffic, which obviously boosted the organic sales as well.
How much traffic would you say that kind of a media hit would get you?
I can't tell you exactly, but I will tell you an estimated amount, because I'm actually on my analytics right now. But it can give you, if you have a good publication, if you have Mashable or Business Insider or Gizmodo or one of those things, it can give you between 200 and 250, maybe even 300% rise in traffic.
Wow.
And that can sustain itself for a day or 2 days or even a little longer. And that also depends on you as a creator, because there's a way to leverage that. If you get a good publication, the first thing I would do is share it on Facebook, and just say shout out to the guys at Mashable for their article, and maybe even put a couple of dollars on that post to boost it. And people see a post running around, shout out to Mashable. They know Mashable. They'll click on it. They'll get to Mashable, and Mashable will take them to you, and you might get even more traffic and even more sales.
Very well said. This is just extraordinary. All the different resources that you're mentioning in this interview, lots of things to check out. I'll be sure to include them as links in the show notes for this episode. I've seen like a lot of the other things that you've used as well. Looking here, so you're using Backer Kit. With your last campaign, you've used Gadget Flow, Backer Club, like some of these other companies. Can you speak on any of these others? Which ones were useful for you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of it is trial and error, and not everything works perfect. But Gadget Flow is nice to have. They're a little bit pricey. In the first campaign, it didn't work too well for us. I think it's something subjective. But in the second campaign, in this current campaign, they really started shining once we got some traction, and Kick Booster came in because the Gadget Flow, basically, they re-uploaded our article with their own Kick Booster affiliate link. So that was good with the Gadget Flow. Backer Club is something that we personally didn't have too many pledges come from Backer Club. We used them for our first campaign for Joey, but we didn't use them on this campaign. Yeah, that's it for Backer Club and the Gadget Flow. In general, it's important for me to say that once your campaign airs, regardless of if it's really successful or not, but if it's successful, then even more so, you'll be getting a ton of people turning to you and telling you that they are the best PR in the world. And if you just give them $200 or $300, they'll push out your press release or your campaign or your photos or your video to millions or hundreds of thousands of their subscribers and get you great pledges. I personally know several campaigns that lost almost all their money on these kind of things. I'm not saying that they're all scams. They're not, but
be aware and do your homework, etc.
Be very aware.
Very well said. In terms of oh, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, sorry. One great resource I can suggest here is a little extension for Chrome called Alexa. It basically ranks sites according to their traffic. So if you have someone that tells you they're an enormous website, they have tons of people, tons of traffic to the website.
And they were just started yesterday and have no traffic. Not a good indicator.
Exactly.
Did you find these different fulfillment solutions to be helpful? It seems like you just use so many different resources with these different campaigns. I just want to get an idea in terms of like Backer Kit, I see Easy Ship. Like, have these also been helpful for you?
Yes. In the first campaign, we actually didn't use anyone to fulfill the orders. We used Easy Ship. Easy Ship is basically a platform working out of Hong Kong. It's a shipping platform. So we use Easy Ship to ship our whatever it is. But the good thing about Easy Ship is that they have a platform that can sort out the different couriers and sort them by price as well. So that's Easy Ship. There are many companies you can use, so it's not a must. And if you're designing and creating out of the US, you'd use someone else. But Backer Kit is definitely something I would recommend because we fulfilled our first project without Backer Kit. We did it completely ourselves, and we did it well. And I'm happy to say that overall our backers from the first project are very happy. But it was a nightmare. Fulfilling your project yourself can be a nightmare. If you have, I think, over 500 backers, you should use a fulfillment service, because we had just over 1,500 backers for Joey, I think, and we spent about a week of sleepless nights just getting everything in order.
Oh, geez, a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, that's so much great information, and I also think it pays to know how to speed up the process, how to make it easier, less headaches, etc. So thank you for sharing some of those resources and tools that you've used.
Sure.
we're coming to the end of the interview here, and I just had one or two more questions. One being, looking forward, you've had a tremendous success with the first campaign. The second campaign is well over the fundraising goal, doing just spectacular. People, again, can check that out at DJIN, JIN, the wallet perfected. Looking forward as a marketer, where is it that you're sort of looking to grow and looking to expand and get better as a marketer?
Okay, so definitely on social media fronts. This is something that, when you're running a small team, it may be difficult to update all your social media at once, right? And be consistent with it. But it is important to be consistent at least on one front. We try doing that on Facebook. So I think I would say social media, because that's another outlet for great organic traffic. And in general, just to speak to all the creators out there and anyone who's interested in creating a Kickstarter project, we Koala-Gear, we're here to stay. I mean, we want to be around for a while, and if you're like us and you want to be around for a while and you want to have a successful company and not just one successful Kickstarter campaign, you have to understand that it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of team effort, and like I said, preparation is everything. So make sure you have a company running, and make sure you have the back end really developed so you can have good customer support and have good fulfillment, because those are the things that'll take you through to your next campaign and have people trust you and want to keep being your friends and keep buying your products. I think that's the most important thing I can say.
Very well said. Well, where can people go to check out not only with this current campaign, but also some of the other products that you sell and offer to the public?
So you can go to Koala-Gear.com, Koala-Gear.com. That's our website. We're selling Joey there, which is our first product, and we're actually working on our next campaign as we speak, and hopefully, that'll air sometime after we fulfill this campaign. Right now, we have Koala-Gear.com, and you can check us out on our Facebook as well, and read the reviews and let us know your opinion as well.
Any hints about what that next campaign is going to be?
I actually can't tell you what the product will be.
Oh, come on, man.
We are very excited about it. Very excited about it. All I can say is that it continues the line we started with, and we're developing of really cool, sleek, elegant design together with unparalleled functionality, at least as far as we're concerned. And we hope people will love it as much as they love Jin and Joey.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast, sharing all that great information, and I look forward to your upcoming campaign launch and also your current one. I'm really curious to see where you guys end up, because you're trending pretty high. I think this is going to be a really great campaign in the next 17 days.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sal.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Crowdfunding Demystified Podcast. Again, my name is Salvador Brigman. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. And if you did, if you got something out of it that you can apply to your own crowdfunding campaign, take a second to leave a rating and review for this podcast on iTunes. The feedback would mean the world to me. It also helps other people who are maybe interested in crowdfunding distinguish this show among others as one where I try to bring the real deal. I really try to bring on guests that are going to give you strategies and tactics and resources that you can practically use for your own crowdfunding campaign and also in your business. And finally, if you do want the step-by-step launch plan for your campaign, if you want a proven strategy that's proven to get you backers, to get you traffic, to get you attention, to get you credibility on Kickstarter also, you can go and check out my free course at crowdcrux.com/PR. That is crowdcrux.com/PR. Enter your email address and I will start sending you some of these free training videos to get you up to speed on some of the best crowdfunding practices, but also the things that I have learned specifically about how to get into the media, how to get influencers to write about you and notice you, and also just ways that you can stand out above the pack. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I'll see you next time.